I mean, obviously, you build relationships and then, you get cheap. You want to negotiate. You want to, pay less because you want to do more for yourself. But me, I'd rather they be comfortable and work hard, so it all comes back anyway. And that's what I actually learned the most. Your team is more important than you are.
Hey guys, this is Jen DeLeon, and I'm so excited to be talking to the legend himself, Akon. How are you doing tonight?
Amazing.
So there's so much I want to talk to you about, but first I want to touch on, the business and the music side. So you have award-winning albums, you have your own record label and management company. What inspired you to want to expand your portfolio?
Well, music was always a vehicle to get to the real business. I think music opens doors that the average sector don't open. You know what I mean? Because one thing I realized, like the ultra wealthy, they all want to be famous. And half of them don't know how to spend their money and enjoy it. So they hire people like us to help them with that. You know what I mean? But then you create a relationship in the process of it, and then you find yourself in sectors that you never dreamed in your life to be doing business in.
Well, we're definitely going to be talking about your new single, Enjoy That, later in the interview. But I liked what you said about how the ultra wealthy wants to be rich, but they don't know how to financially responsible. So what's your ultimate financial advice?
I mean, me personally, I don't want to die a billionaire.
Why not?
I just believe that, God put us on this earth to be impactful. And when you got billions sitting in the bank and you got billions out there starving, I just believe that it just feels wrong. I don't think money should be sitting there when it could be helping people.
Well, I have always respected the fact that you've always been the person to help everybody. So even having that wealth, you've always given it back, which is why you're so blessed and why God gives that to you. So being in the business and the music industry, what was one of the struggles that you faced and a lesson that you would want to pass along to someone who wants to step into that industry?
I tell everybody, whatever you do, don't be an artist.
Don't be an artist.
That's the worst part of the business.
Okay.
I mean, they work the hardest, but then they get paid the least. They're the last to get paid.
Okay.
Everything falls on them. If some go down, okay, boom, it's their name on the line. So your credibility, the liability, all falls on you. And then you got to make sure that everybody's around you is actually taken care of. So when money comes in, you pay out for everybody else, and then whatever's left is yours. But then you got to pay IRS after that, so it's like
it's like nothing after that. And then
that's why I said music was always a vehicle to get to real business, to actually engage in real business. Because as an artist, and then especially if you're not a writer or a producer or anything like that. But the beautiful part about that though is that the business is attracted by it, and you attract business. So you have to have some kind of business savvy or sense to understand opportunities when those kind of business opportunities fall in place.
Absolutely. I'm literally, my mind's blown just because it's don't be an artist, but it's there's so many different misconceptions.
But honestly, there's so many sectors that surround the music industry that you can be a part of. Like you could be a producer, you could be a songwriter, you could be a manager, you could be a promoter. I mean, there's so many areas where you actually make a lot more money, without the headache that comes with it.
Yeah, I'm not an artist, so I can't relate to that part, but even me coming in as, I started hosting 10 years ago, so I was always doing interviews, but then I learned all the business of it, that it's I can book my own stuff, I can edit, I can do everything, I can book artists for shows, then I can book for an interview, and I'm like, wait, I didn't make money doing interviews, I'm like, they didn't pay me shit. When I first Well, I would love to hear, what are some of the misconceptions that also come with being an artist? Because you're saying don't be an artist, but I feel like there's so many other ones.
I mean, the way I look at being an artist, you're chosen. Like I said, everybody has a purpose in life, right? We all have our roles to play in life. And if you have a huge role, you're clearly going to be in front of a huge audience. So as an artist or anyone that has influence, you have to be responsible enough or spiritual enough to know that this position was given to you by God for a reason, right? So now, as far as the responsibility of an artist, I mean, that depends on the person that has the blessing. Because everybody's different. Some people use it the right way, or some people use it the wrong way. But then again, the right way or the wrong way is the opinion of whoever's deciding. Yeah. But only you know what your you could say value can be to someone else's life or to society in general. You know what I mean?
When did you know what God's purpose was for you?
Honestly, it's interesting because I think it happened, the Twitch happened in 2008.
Okay.
When after the success, I went to Africa and I went to this village and I was supposed to visit the village and, just meet the villagers and speak to the kids and give them, words of inspiration, right? And it was a very struggling situation, but so I'm walking in there, I'm dripped down, $100,000 watch, $150,000 chain, diamond bracelet. What I had around my neck could feed them for the whole year.
Wow.
And I'm walking through this place and I'm looking at, like, wow, how can people live like this? Like, and because it's not their choice, right? Mm-hmm. So I felt so embarrassed. Like my heart couldn't take it. I started tucking my chain in. I took my watch out. I felt so embarrassed, and I felt so bad. I'm like, I'm over here flossing and like just kind of celebrating the success of mine with all this unnecessary stuff. And you got people here that's really suffering, like really going through some really hard times.
Yeah.
And it was around that time when I decided to cash all my jewels in and put it in my foundation and start providing solar lights to all those villages. Because we spent the night in the village in Ghana and we had no lights. I had a friend of mine named Divine who at the time was managing me, and I was signed to his label, and he didn't sleep the whole night. He was scared to sleep. Like where we would sleep, he was like, "Bro, you up?"
You're like, "No." Did you pretend to sleep? Like, did you pretend to be sleeping?
I was gone. I was sleeping. This is something I grew up under this. So but for him, he was like, "Yo, bro, what is that? Like, what's that?" Like he's constantly looking. He couldn't sleep the whole night. Yeah. But it took so, because he never experienced any part of Africa but that part. Mm-hmm. He hasn't been back to Africa since, by the way. Wow. Because that scared the living daylights out of him. But it also made him appreciate everything that he has here in America.
You have to appreciate that. It's the same thing. Like my family's from the Philippines, and every time we go there, it's like you don't realize how grateful and how blessed you are. Man, so it's like every day every morning I write 3 things I'm grateful for. It could be anything from, I don't have asthma, or I don't, just little stuff like that, or you have light. So just the fact that you said they had to sleep without light, it's like, that's very sad. And it's, appreciate what you have, because it could always be, worse. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah. I love that it was that. And I knew you were going to have an answer for that. That's why I had to ask, because you were talking about purpose and God. And it's like, when you just know what that is. Right. Moving into the business side. So we talked about music, but okay, you have real estate investments, diamond mine investments, and then you also are building the cryptocurrency city, Akon City. So let's talk about Akon City and what people can expect from that.
Well, I mean, I don't think what people can expect is even
possible.
Okay. Because whatever you're gonna expect ain't gonna be what you expect. It's gonna be beyond what you expect. Like it's a smart city, first built in Africa. It's gonna be the first in the whole continent. And I got like the best of any smart city construction. I mean, architects all the way down to developers, they're all a part of this project. We got investments coming from everywhere, from the Middle East to Germany to America to Great Britain, African investors, like people. It's literally like a united, front as far as people that wants to invest in Africa. The Chinese, everybody's invested. So the idea of it was really to create an environment that was so dope and so comfortable that you wouldn't think twice and you would overlook the bad press that Africa's been getting for so many years. And African Americans will really be like, yo, I gotta go to Akon City. I don't care if you just come for the weekend to party, because I know the day you come for that weekend, you're going to definitely decide you're going to stay. Because it's one of the places where when you visit it for the first time, it's going to make you rethink the position you're in.
Wow. I'm like, is there another hint you can give us about Akon City? Because like I don't even want to guess, because I'll be completely off.
It's not even.
He's like, can't even answer that. So I tried.
It's not, like, I promise you, I watch, and you remember I told you this, the day this built out, it's going to change the game.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
Of black people leaving America.
He said it. That's the hint. That's all we needed to know. I will hold you to that. I'm excited for that. And that's going to be amazing. Well, okay, with the real estates and the diamond mine investments. So what I wanted to ask you was, what do you look for when you are looking to invest into anything? And if there was someone who wanted to pitch you on an investment, what are the do's and don'ts?
Well, I mean, it depends on the person, because some people have the capacity to fulfill a certain investment that I may not be able to fulfill. Like me, I only get into any investments that actually relates to entertainment, because I'm an entertainer. So if the bridge crosses into something that relates to entertainment, it's a great investment for me, because I have a whole entertainment audience to sell it to.
Yeah.
Diamonds, the best investment in the world at the time when I was into it, because every rapper in the world, the first thing they do when they advance is buy diamonds. Right?
Do you recommend that they do that when they get their advance now?
I don't recommend it, but I did it. Now, what I know now today, I would never waste my money on it. But it's different, right? Sometimes you want to treat yourself, but I mean, you have to get it out though, like, especially when you come up from an environment where you didn't have shit.
Yeah.
Like, so you want to be able to motivate yourself to believe and feel like you're advancing in life. So I think that's why a lot of us, when we get our first check, the first thing we do is we buy a chain that signifies and brands us. Then we buy a car, because we got to pull off and pull up. You got to pull up right? And then hopefully you'll buy your house. Honestly, I prefer you buy the house before the car, but sometimes the house is a little bit more expensive, so you can buy the car and pretend you live in a big house until you can actually buy the house.
The advice.
So, even though your first, you still got to fake it till you make it to an extent.
So going back to it, okay, what is the first thing you would have purchased instead of the diamonds?
Well, the diamonds, it wasn't the diamonds that I purchased. I actually put my money into the mine itself.
Okay.
So I wouldn't have changed that. Till this day, I would have definitely continued doing that. But I think knowing what I know today, I think I made all the right investments, actually. Because when my first check, the first thing I did was buy a recording studio. And it was like, that became, okay, no matter what happens in my career, at least I got a facility where I can create content and be able to sell that.
I feel like you had a plan, like, as soon as you were born of what you were going to do, literally.
But I had the advantage, honestly, when I got locked up, that became my blessing, because it gave me time to sit down and think about where my life is heading and what I plan to do.
Yeah.
So I had a chance to actually create a plan. Most people, they just go and say, okay, well, when I get this, then I'm gonna do this, and when I get this, I'm gonna do this. So they base their plans around what kind of money they're gonna receive in the future. And then now they figure out, how do I get the money? Most people don't have basic skills, and half of them didn't finish high school. And then if you did go to college, your diploma wouldn't get you no job. So you had to be very creative as to how do you make that kind of money to fulfill whatever thought in your mind. So the people go to the fastest way, and they're willing to take penitentiary chances to get there. But depending on your environment, depending on your situation, everybody makes different decisions. Some people decided to use their education and say, okay, cool. Instead of risking my life for $100,000, to sell off 5 keys, how about I just go to the bank and ask for a loan and fix my credit? Right? Yeah. So you still get the same thing, just different way of how to do it. So I guess it depends on who is, going in that direction, and regardless how much you're willing to lose for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot of thinking, and decisions will definitely decide your fate.
Yeah. And then even with planning too, it's like there's so many different ways that we can plan, but we all have our own ways. So it's like, what's your structure of when you make a plan or when you have a goal, and then how do you execute it? It's like, are you writing it down? Are you talking to your team? Like,
well, me, I just think about it.
You just think, okay.
Like me, like recently I've been a little bit more organized, because from the days of, you can say 2005 is when I realized that you have to have a strong team. Yeah. And then it was around 2006 when I realized that you have to pay them.
You have to pay them so they can get their diamonds, their cars, and their houses.
Because sometimes, you realize, obviously, you build relationships, and then, you get cheap. You want to negotiate, you want to, pay less because you want to do more for yourself. But me, I'd rather they be comfortable and work hard, so it all comes back anyway. So if it's up to them to get paid before me, I would prefer that they get paid before me. Because as long as they're working in my you can say benefit, I'll always be in a position to make money. Because I got a team that can now fast forward or even execute whatever is in my mind or whatever idea. And that's what I actually learned the most. Your team is more important than you are.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much in this interview. So I have one last question before we get into enjoy that. So is there a business avenue that you have not gone after yet, but you will be in the future?
Actually, man, it's
You're like, no.
As a hustler, you get into any and everything. Like, you get
What
to the point where
is-
you start creating things to get into.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How about this then? Because it's like you're a hustler and you've done everything. Is there a business venture that you've done that everyone would be surprised that you did go after that?
Yeah. The milk business.
The milk business? Okay.
I just left Qatar looking at milk factories.
Okay, what can you tell us about milk?
And milk is a vital, part of daily nutrition today. It's one of the biggest, money makers in, you can say, agriculture, right? But then you also have to, mind the farms, and you have to provide healthcare and food and, basically management for the cows, for instance, right? That's a whole other business in itself. Because after they stop producing milk, then you got a slaughterhouse. Now you just, I learned a lot. And I was like, wow, this is a real business. So now I was like, okay, I try to get into food or businesses that provide resources for humans or people that you can't live without, right? Mm-hmm. You can't go into any investments and go wrong if your investments is supplying need for people, right? And that goes for everything, but the basic things like water, electricity, food, healthcare, infrastructure, basic things that you can't live without.
Yeah.
Find areas there to invest your money. Real estate, you can never go wrong.
Yeah.
It ain't the sexiest jobs,
but you make money.
You make money to make a sexy environment for yourself.
Well, on the note of milk and food, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food, I think it would depend on, let's say my favorite fruit is mango.
Okay.
I love mangoes. If I had to pick a favorite snack food, it would probably be pizza.
Pizza?
It's my favorite snack food, but I can eat as a full, what's the name? If I had to pick a favorite dish, it would probably be cheboujen, which is Senegalese. It's jollof rice with fried fish. But I like the cheboujen, which is jollof rice with chicken. If I had to pick my favorite American food, it'd probably be a double cheeseburger.
From where?
From Burger King.
Those Whoppers?
Man, listen, that flame broil, serious.
The price went up, but
flame broil is serious. But that depends on the mood I'm in. If I'm in a basic day-to-day mood, then it's Five Guys double cheeseburger.
Their fries are good.
Yeah,
their fries are really good.
And the milkshakes is serious.
I'm so hungry. So hungry. I was not expecting Burger King. I'm not going to lie. I love the Whopper. I love the chicken sandwich.
Serious.
And if anyone wants to save money, if you get that Burger King app, you get even more. Okay, let's get into Enjoy That. So you just dropped this a few weeks ago. So one thing I like to do differently with songs is I like to pull my favorite lyrics and ask a question based off that. Right. So I have a few of them. I'm like, should I have you read it or should I say it? 'Cause I don't sound like you, so it's going to sound a little butchered. But why have a life like mine if you don't take time to enjoy that shit? So you talk about the different things you enjoy. What are things and hobbies that you enjoy doing in life?
But that's the thing. A lot of things that I enjoyed, I discovered as I was doing them. Right?
Okay.
I never knew that I was going to enjoy skydiving so much.
Skydiving is life-changing. Where did you skydive?
My first ever skydiving was here in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And then my second one was in Brazil. Then my third one was in Dubai. And then everywhere I go, I always try to find if they have a skydiving program, I definitely jump off the plane.
I was going to say, would you do it where you can just jump by yourself? I think you have to do I think it's 60 jumps.
I don't want to jump by myself.
Okay.
I want somebody to die with me.
Out of the ones.
I want a professional with me at all times. I don't care how good I get at it. Bro, let's go together. Tie me up.
Out of the ones you went to, which was your favorite experience?
The favorite experience was Dubai.
Dubai, I would think so.
Because it's warmer. When I was in LA, I liked it, but it was cold. It was too cold. By the time we got 30 feet up in the air, 30,000 feet up in, was it 1,000 feet, 3,000 feet, something like that? It was so cold up there.
Wow.
I was like icicles by the time I got down to the bottom.
But
in Dubai, it was nice and warm. It was hot. It was perfect.
I did mine in the suburbs of Chicago, so mine was cornfields. So it's like yours sounds way better.
I went to Chicago in the wintertime.
No, I didn't do winter. I don't know when it was, but I mean, it wasn't freezing, but the view wasn't, I would have rather looked at, water or something. Next one, then I had all my young boys serving posted up on every school. So let's talk about the elementary school you opened up in Senegal and the schools and universities you plan to open up in the future.
Well, the lyrics was a little different.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
I wrote it wrong. What is it?
And all my young boys serving posted up on every stove.
See, so much better when he says it. See, I fucked it up. So what is?
So that was in past tense.
Oh, okay.
Those were the days of hustling.
Okay.
When you had stolen product to move, and you needed to get rid of it. And the fiends would always they would always gather at the corner store to buy drugs, but then some of them would actually have extra money to buy goods to later trade in for drugs. So if you wanted to move something quick, the corner store was the way to do it.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. That's creating a network. Learning business before business comes to corporate. You're like, okay, cool. I need reps. I need reps.
Like you really were the hustler.
They were my reps. And young boy serving posted up on every stove. Then later it became real reps.
How does one become a rep for Akon?
You just gotta be a hard worker.
Okay.
I love hard workers. I feel like if you can't keep up with me, then you can't keep up.
Got it. Well, even though the lyrics were off, it was still a great response for it. My last one, and I ain't never trust these motherfuckers as far as
I can throw.
Yep.
Business, don't trust nobody. Not even your mama.
Damn.
It's business.
Okay.
And honestly, it's crazy because with business, decisions has nothing to do with your feelings. And unfortunately, with friends, with family, with people that you know, there's always this specific intimate relationship with you guys that you think that because y'all friends or y'all family that certain things has to change when it comes to business. And that's not necessarily true. And that's how a lot of people fall out. Mm-hmm. So when they feel a certain kind of way, the business will be affected.
Yeah.
And you just never can see it happen all the way through. So you got to be very careful, draw a specific line. And there can't be no trust in business. It just has to be fair or unfair. There's no reason to trust if it's fair.
Yeah. Well, what about, you see it a lot within the music industry where it's like someone has, their friends or their family as their manager or their whatever it is. So it's like, how do you draw that line and, you have to let that person go or if you have to fire them, like what's the best approach?
When you do that, you actually make it harder for yourself because that day will come where you have to make a tough decision. The question is, are you prepared to make that tough decision? Mm-hmm. So that's why it's better to just make sure everything stays professional. Really. Yeah. But you got to have a really thick skin to involve family and business and do real business. Because oftentimes, we can talk tough all day. Oh man, my mom tripped, I'm firing her. But you ain't firing your mom. You just ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like mom, I ain't going nowhere. I gave you birth. I had you stay for 9 months. You gonna take this? So it's different. It's like it's just tough though. It's like so you gotta be nice. So me, I prefer my family just be my advisors. And my ladies will tell you all day. They advise me all day. My parents advise me. My brothers advise me, but I can't lock them into the business because I know we're going to disagree. Because it's impossible to do business and not disagree at times. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the disagreements can get personal. So I prefer to just be advisor than be my advisors. If I have an advice, I'll be like, yo, little bro, what you think it is? Big bro, what you think it is? Sister, what you think it is? And make it keep it simple. Yeah.
Got it. Well, outside of business, how do you know when you can trust a person?
Well, you don't know. All you do is trust somebody that you meet 100% and just hope that they, make good of your trust for them. Yeah. Me, I don't meet people distrusting them. Mm-hmm. Every person I meet, they scale start at 100 when it comes to trust until you show me different. Once you show me that you can be trusted, then now I know you can be trusted.
And that's my last question. So, how many chances do you give a person once you lose that trust?
I give people chances. Yeah. I know people, we're not perfect.
Yeah.
I don't think nobody in life is perfect. There's going to be mistakes that you make. There's going to be faulty decisions that you may make depending on the circumstance you're in at that moment in time. But I don't let your decisions define who you are. I think you're going to make mistakes depending on what you're going through. But after a certain time, I just go for as long as I can continue to forgive. But there's always going to be that moment in that time when you be like, you know what? I just can't do it no more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that was so much great advice. You just need to write a whole thing on like not being an artist and everything wrong about the music
I'm not saying, like, believe me, try it. Be an artist, fulfill your dreams. I'm just saying, if you had a choice out of all the sectors related to entertainment, just know that the hardest part, the least paying part, and the part that allows you to never be who you are ever again is the artist side. So if you want to sacrifice, that's the hardest. Being an artist is where you have to sacrifice the most. Now, if you're willing to sacrifice it all, then being an artist is for you. But if you're not, I would pick another job.
Well, thank you so much for your time and all the great advice and all the laughs. I gotta go get a double cheeseburger now at Burger King. Before you go, I do have some gifts for you. Okay, so the first one, so this is from Manscaped. So it's a men's hygiene company.
Oh, nice.
If you want to open it, it has a funny, they have funny marketing. So I just like seeing it.
It's like a heart. Your balls will thank you.
So it's Wifey's like, excuse me, like, what is this? Yeah. So there's like men's grooming. So
this I'm supposed to spray this on my balls?
Okay, so I can break this down for you because it is funny. So the crop reviver, so you could midday spray. That's the actual groomer.
So you shave your pubics with it?
Yes. So it's, see, she's thumbs up. It's approved. That's the accessories. I'll pull up this one. This one's funny.
Yeah. Now I actually needed this day.
Oh, well, there you go. Like you got
know, guys, we don't care. Our pubics have an afro. We don't even care. We chilling. So they be like, man, if you don't shave that, you can shave, but I'm good. Let me see. Crop. What? Preservative? What's a crop preservative?
So it's ball deodorant. And then here, let me put
some. A lot of trap niggas that need this.
And then
don't trap all day.
Yeah, and then the last thing. So then there's just a cool travel case. Oh wait, I would love your reaction to. So this is a shaving mat. Mm-hmm. So you said guys don't care, so I think they can use that.
Yeah, guys don't care.
But yeah, the top says.
We say balls. Yo, this is actually dope though. Honestly, this is so. It's creative and funny.
It is, no, their marketing really is so great. Yeah, so they give me stuff to give to my male guests. So you have that. So I'll put the shaving mat back. Yeah. So the other one, it has nothing to do with balls, but. So here's that. The other one's normal. It was funny. They asked me, they're like, wait, are you really going to be able to give this? I'm like, it'll be fine. I'm like, it's just.
I actually like that. I might pardon me.
Yeah. So then hey. And then I got you 2 bags. So I just chose red and black for you.
I love red. This is dope.
Yeah. So and then this is a, everything's dropping. So then there's another one. So yeah, this one, yeah, it's a little. Wow. Yeah, so if you want any other colors, I'm sure they'll give it to you.
I want
white, okay.
For sure.
Yeah, then there's a bunch of different ones, so I'll send it to Regina and you guys could pick whatever you want. But yes, thank you.
Thank you.